Welcome to the prize announcement for the 2022 Observer Burgess Prize for Art Journalism. My name's Ian. I write reviews myself for this electronic sound magazine under the pseudonym of Fat Roland. How's that for a plug? But more importantly, I work here at the International Anthony Burgess Foundation. In fact, I'm in the Anthony Burgess archive, surrounded by Burgess's books, manuscripts, records, instruments, and numerous essential writing paraphernalia, like this bust of his own head. We at the Burgess Foundation organise this prize with the Observer newspaper, and we're pleased to say that the Observer's pop critic and this year's guest judge, Kitty Empire, will be joining me shortly to help with this grand announcement. Thank you to everyone who has entered this year. A huge thank you. I get to see every entry that comes through before it's passed on and anonymised for the judges. And in some ways, the prize is unconventional. So with the Booker Prize, for example, not that I'm comparing the two, the books are already out there for you to read and rant about on Goodreads. But with the Observer Burgess Prize, hashtag Observer Burgess, use that on your social media, first publication goes to the winner in the Observer New Review, online and in print, shortly after we've announced that winner right here in this video. It's exciting. The winner also receives £3,000 and two runners-up, also announced in this broadcast, will receive £500 each. Now, that prize fund is equivalent to, and I have done my maths, 1,180 Big Macs or 800 guided tours of Stockport Hat Museum or 200 copies of Anthony Burgess's The Ink Trade, Selected Journalism 1963 to 1993. How was that for a subtle plug? So let's get things started by going through the shortlisted writers, hoping to win the cash equivalent of more guided tours of a hat museum than they could possibly use. For this, it's over to the Observer's pop critic, Kitty Empire.
Hi, I'm Kitty Empire and I'm the pop critic of The Observer. I've been judging the Observer Burgess Prize for Arts Journalism this year with Sarah Donaldson from The Observer and Will Carr from the Burgess Foundation. This is the first time I've taken part and it was great to read so many excellent entries on such a diversity of subjects. There was all sorts of fantastic writing about music, books, theatre, film, television, games, and lots of things that didn't fit into the usual categories too. We all found out about new work from outside the mainstream and new forms of cultural expression, especially online. And it was exciting to see such a range and quality of writing in your pieces. It was hard to narrow it down to this group of 8, but these represent the very best of a very strong entry. I'd like to congratulate each of the shortlisted writers. Ian Cowmeadow, for his review of the documentary photography exhibition Industrial Sublime by Maurice Bloomfield at the V&A. Matthias Yesdal Hammer, who wrote on Alaa Abdel Fattah's story of the 2011 Egyptian Revolution, You Have Not Yet Been Defeated. Alice Hughes, for her discussion of the HBO romantic comedy Love Life. Callum Jacobs, for his review of the one-man show Lear Alone, presented online by And Tomorrow Theatre. Rhoda Koenig, who described the outsider art exhibition Brutal Beauty by Jean Dubuffet at the Barbican in London. Laura Delisle, for her piece on the online live-action Dungeons & Dragons game Critical Role. Mumtaza Mehri, who reviewed The White Lotus, HBO's comedy drama set in a tropical resort in Hawaii. And Rachel Walker, who reviewed the novel Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. We thought every single piece on the shortlist would not have been out of place in the Observer, and each of them will appear in the online edition on the 27th of February. Well done to everyone.
Anthony Burgess is best known as an author, but he was also a journalist, writing for publications all around the world throughout his life. He began submitting book and theatre reviews at the Manchester University magazine The Serpent. He went on to write for, among many others, the New York Times, The Spectator, Monaco's Saturday Review, Italy's Corriere della Sera, The Guardian and, of course, The Observer. Burgess published 2 collections of his essays, and a generous new selection of his journalism is available in The Ink Trade. One of the more colourful moments in his journalistic career was when he was sacked by the Yorkshire Post for reviewing his own novel Inside Mr. Enderby, a book published under the name Joseph Kell. The Observer Burgess Prize, launched in 2012, exists to recognise Anthony Burgess's long association with the newspaper. An ongoing reminder that his journalism was every bit a part of his life as his novel writing.
Reviewers are viewed by genuine writers with a mixture of foreboding and contempt. The status and indeed the physical condition of the reviewer are summed up in a trenchant article by George Orwell. The man looks older than he is. He sits at a table covered with rubbish which he dare not disturb, because there may be a cheque lying underneath it. He began his sub-literary career as a genuine literary one, with high hopes and noble aspirations. But he has sunk to the condition of a hack. He has learnt the knack of reviewing anything, including books he has no hope of understanding. He earns little money and is unlikely to earn the accolade of a state award for services to literature. Services to reviewing are not recognised either at Buckingham Palace or in the office of the Prime Minister. This despicable rat, gnawing away at the fringes of literature, is only ennobled by being one of the pack kept encaged by a literary editor, or, to exalt the animal metaphor, an also-ran of the literary editor's stable. In this image, the term hack finds its proper connotation. Yet I ought to end on a less cynical note. Nothing in life except the love of a good woman has been more important than books to me. The writer's life is impelled on its course by his desire to achieve the honour of being numbered among the master spirits who have produced them. Pride and humility conjoin in the writer's life. The literary editor and the reviewer are ancillary agents of the conviction that nothing is as important as the box of organised knowledge, which is acronymized into BOOK. It may be a mad conviction, but it's the madness that sustained our civilization in the past, and despite the new technologies and the homogenization of values, is unlikely to be superseded by new modes of communication between souls, if souls may still be said to exist. We have our uses. I rest my case.
It's Ian again here, just on audio this time because I was in the archive and am no longer. There are a bunch of musicians doing rehearsals in the Burgess Foundation, and I want to give them a little bit of space. So I thought, let's just do this bit on audio as I'm leaving the building. There is Anthony Burgess talking about maybe the very reviewers who made it through to this year's shortlist. If you'd like to take part in this prize, then entries open in just a few months' time. May or June is normally when we launch it. Look out for updates on our website on anthonyburgess.org/prize. And I must say also, not just a thank you to everyone who entered, but also to our judges, Will Carr, Sarah Donaldson from The Observer, and Kitty Empire, for all your incredible work. Well, the time has come to announce the winners of the 2022 Observer Burgess Prize for Arts Journalism. Let's go back to Kitty Empire for the grand announcement. Thank you for watching.
The first runner-up is Ian Cowmeadow for his review of the photography exhibition Industrial Sublime by Maurice Bloomfield. Ian's well-constructed piece described the exhibition with an elegant precision that matched the careful composition and subtlety of the photography itself, while also managing to both put it in its wider context and get to the heart of the subject. He packed a great deal in with a deft economy and acute analysis that was a pleasure to read. The second runner-up is Laura Delisle, who wrote about the hugely popular online streaming series Critical Role, in which the participants in a game of Dungeons & Dragons are played by professional actors. Laura described this phenomenon with humour and a lightness of touch, while still taking the work entirely seriously, drawing fascinating parallels with other art forms, and offering a sensitive analysis of the quality and appeal of the series. Her engaging style brought a complex and abstract experience to life. The overall winner is Callum Jones, who reviewed the one-man play Lear Alone by And Tomorrow Theatre. This production was streamed online and reimagines the character of King Lear as an old man walking about an empty, locked-down London. Callum's piece expertly critiqued the play itself while also engaging in the wider questions the work raised, with a confident and sophisticated approach that made us think not just about this particular work, but the prospects for theatre in a post-pandemic world. His thoughtful and compelling writing left us wanting to read more, and we are delighted to award him the first prize. And that's it. Well done once again to the winners, and to everyone on the shortlist too. Look out for the pieces in the paper and online from the 27th of February. And the prize will be reopening for entries in May.